think it's tough enough to win one. We've done two, so you might as well go for three, right?
Our time, baby, back to back. That's how we do it.
What do you think of this team?
Unbelievable. Nobody can beat us. Back to back years.
It's so much fun to be a part of. The crowd can have an effect on teams. The emotions get turned up.
And then last year, they gave Vezina to somebody else. Number one bullshit. Oh, number one bullshit.
Here it is for you guys. Enjoy.
Welcome to What the Did We Just Watch? Playoff game number 1 versus the Toronto Maple Leafs. 5-0 ass whooping. Except this time we were at the wrong end of it.
Yeah.
My name is Shooter, and I have with me the stash. Thomas Schooley, this is We the Thunder.
Sad stash.
And man, like where do we start? We're not going to do the play-by-play game breakdown tonight. We're going to open up the phone lines. We're going to hopefully try to give you a show that you didn't get on Bally Sports or however you watched tonight. And we're going to try to talk about the positives as well. But we're going to talk about the negatives. We're going to talk about what we just watched for sure. So, guys, give us your opening thoughts here. We're going to put the number on the board here. If anyone wants to call in, we're looking for 3 stars of the chat or a good caller because we've got some goodies to give away tonight from Pucks and Pizza, from Smack Apparel, and from Maltronics. So give us some good comments. Give us some good calls. Schooley, let's start with you. I know you went to the watch party.
Yeah, first, happy birthday, Shooter. Today's Shooter's birthday. So happy birthday to Shooter.
40.
The big 4-0. I thought
40.
when the score said 4-0, I thought they were celebrating your birthday. And then Toronto had to go and score again and make it 50. So we're wishing you an early decade from now birthday. So but happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Kind of crummy that the boys didn't celebrate it, or maybe they were. Maybe they were just drunk and celebrating themselves. That 5-minute power play at the very beginning, I think that defined the whole game right there. You have to score. You don't score, and that takes so much out of the Lightning sails and puts so much on Toronto's side. We couldn't do anything. We couldn't get into the zone. We couldn't get a power play. We couldn't score a goal to save our life. To the fact that Stamkos had a wide open net and missed it. And you don't see that, especially after the year he's had. And then the Toronto fans chanting Stamkos. As we've learned before, be careful what you wish for, because Stamkos might make you regret that. If there's any team you can go down 0-1 to, it's Toronto. We know that it will always be in Toronto's head. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Bolts come out and play on Wednesday.
Yeah. I think there were some positives, but I also think that what it really came down to is the Lightning didn't really make any adjustments at all early on. And Toronto basically had them scouted. They were, especially during the power play, they had 3 guys at the blue line, and they collapsed as soon as they saw what side of the ice or zone that puck was going to. our guys were overmatched immediately. We had the man advantage, and yet every time they got in there, they didn't make the adjustments. So, I mean, you could say Coop got out coached. That's not true. There's only so much you can do on the bench on the fly. Some of the stuff in intermission, yeah, you can make adjustments, but he went out and he made his line changes. I think he did what he could do in between periods, but I think what happened is that this team expected it to be much more physical, and Toronto came out and they played a speed game, and I don't think the Lightning were ready for a speed game. And yes, the Lightning can play physical hockey, but it's kind of like that Carolina series where every time they tried to out physical them last season, it's like almost like every time they tried to out physical them, they would get behind, and that's when they struggled against that team. Later on, they had to adjust it, and they had to be more physical against some of the other teams, and they had to really be more. So, like, I think that's the big adjustment they need to, and I think we started seeing that in the third. You could say that, they were up 5-0, but I don't care who you are. If it's the playoffs, I want it to be 10-0. I don't care. Okay, we give up one goal. Campbell's not going to care. I want it to be 10-0. You know what I mean? I'm trying to run it up. I'm not playing it safe whatsoever at that point. So I think the Lightning had some good play in the third period. Their power play really definitely started to come around. Obviously, you even mentioned that shot that Stamkos had was on the power play. They set it up really well. They had a couple of great opportunities. There were some bounces that didn't go their way tonight too. So you're going to have games like that every once in a while where you're not getting bounces. It just sucks that then also you're getting out hustled as well, because then every bounce that doesn't go your way ends up going their way. And a lot of times that ends up in the back of the net. And we saw that. They had offensive rushes, or odd man rushes. You know, they had a lot of their trademark situations. Power play goal, shorthanded goal. I texted our message these guys at some point. I wish the refs would just stop calling power plays for the Lightning. Just don't call. But then right as soon as I said that, that's when they started to get it going again. And honestly, I don't know. Do you have the stats, Shooter? Because I haven't looked at the line yet. I'm interested to see what the face-off numbers are, because just casually watching and not really keeping track, it looked like the Lightning did a pretty good job in the face-off circle. So if they could keep that going and do a little bit better job with their possession and matching kind of the speed that Toronto was bringing out, that's going to be good for them. You know,
you talked about physicality, and I think before the series even started, there was a little gamesmanship going on from Toronto's head coach, who had said that the Lightning were borderline violent.
He said the series was going to be borderline violent. He didn't say the Lightning were violent.
Well, no, he came out and said he watched the Lightning the last 2 seasons.
Right.
And he said
He
that
said
we
the
are.
series. He didn't say they were. He didn't say the Lightning were. He didn't quote unquote call the Lightning violent. He said this series was going to be borderline violent.
Hey, let me pause you guys right there, because we got a caller on the line. Can you hear us?
I can hear you just fine. What's going on, guys? Happy birthday, Shooter. This is Peter Blake of the Sports Web.
I knew I recognized that voice. Thank you, Peter. I know you watched the game tonight. What were your thoughts on the mess that you saw out there?
Well, it was a mess, and hopefully it's a reality check, gentlemen, because this team, if they continue to play like this, they're going to get slapped. And I love the Lightning, and I think they're absolutely talented, of course, 2-time Stanley Cup champion, but you can't, just come out and look flat and just look like you're just getting beat to everything. And it looked like Toronto, to me, was just a little bit faster tonight. On top of it, the lazy passes. And it kind of sums up the night, right? I mean, the 5-minute power play, you get a major power play opportunity. You're not even able to get a shot on net. And then you finally get a great scoring opportunity from Steven Stamkos, and he whips on it. I mean, how many times have we seen him put the biscuit in the basket on that? So it was just one of those nights. And, of course, we know that this team and their veteran leadership and their coaching can come out of it. But they definitely got to do a better job in Game 2, because at this point, it's kind of a must-win, right, fellas?
Not against the Leafs.
Not against the Leafs. I don't think so.
They were up 3-0 last year and shit the bed. So
yeah, 3-1. Yeah. But
Yeah,
no, I mean, you're
I
not
just
wrong.
think it would be better to come out.
Yeah, there's definitely
Right.
some urgency issues to those guys for sure early on. And like I said, I feel like it kind of leveled out. You saw the bedlam kind of break out there, not kind of, absolutely break out there in the third period. And I wonder how that's going to affect going forward, specifically Corey Perry. You know, they were talking about that earlier in the game. The Belmar had an interview when he talked about how he hated playing against Corey Perry because he has a way of getting on your skin, and then you start focusing on him specifically every time you get out there. Oh, I gotta go get a jab on Paris. I gotta go get a stick on him. I gotta go do something, an elbow, something. And so then you're leaking and you're not playing disciplined hockey, covering the guy you're supposed to, or worrying about where you're supposed to. So hopefully Corey Perry kind of already set that needle, and maybe even Maroon, those two guys together can start doing that, and maybe get them out there against not just the big guys, maybe get them out there against, Matthews and Monterey in a situation where it's not necessarily, the speed isn't going to be as big of a deal. Like, it's a tough matchup, but I mean, even if you can get them out there and against some of the other supplementary scoring, that could be a big storyline going forward here. My camera wants to just be shit tonight.
Yeah, the school bus line was out.
I'll tell you right now. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say the school bus line was out there for that Mitch Marner goal, and I think it was Chris on Twitter posted a screen capture of what looks like horrible hockey, where you've got three of our players gathered around Vasi, which is why he had no idea what he was even doing to try to stop that. You can't leave a guy that wide open, but it was a problem all up and down the lineup tonight. It didn't really matter who was in. You can talk about Stamkos missing that wide open net. Kucherov whiffed on 2 shots himself. And not just like the whiffing on shots, which shows, you're not concentrating, but these weak ass passes that we like to make right at the blue line are just deadly. You can't give those away. And, Toronto made us pay for it. They had several breakaways, scored on some, didn't score on others. How many odd man rushes did the Lightning have tonight?
Did the Lightning have?
Yeah.
None, I don't think.
I don't remember.
They had a couple.
And then finally, I think in the third they had a couple. Yeah.
I started drinking.
They were.
Go ahead.
Yeah, look, they were over 5 on the power play tonight, and you got to give credit to where credit is due. I mean, Toronto did an exceptional job of being aggressive defensively and not allowing them to, really set up and get anything. And it seemed like, again, Stamkos had an opportunity, and then I believe Brody made a play where Kucherov is trying to pass it to the middle and just, makes an effort play, gets a stick down, blocks it, and then, of course, it leads to a breakaway. And look, we know how good Toronto is when it comes to shorthanded, and they showed that tonight. So anytime you have lazy passes, you're turning over the puck, and you're giving it to a team that, is optimistic as, Toronto, they're going to make you pay for it, and they did tonight. And, it's game 1. I get it. The Lightning have to come out and have a better effort, and I think you guys, if there's anything to take out of this positive, I think they played a lot better mid-second period to third. They started to, and it seemed like, what really fired them up is when they were, getting a little bit more physical, fighting and stuff like that, getting some emotion in the game, because it seemed like they came out and they were just flat. Just my opinion.
They sure were.
Were. Yeah, they definitely were flat for most of the game. And, you want to be excited, like I said, about the end of the game, but they were up 5-0. If it's me, I'm trying to win 10-0. But at the same time, there's probably a little bit of sense of taking their foot off the gas and not going 100%. Not.
There definitely was. They didn't start their stars for that 4-minute power play at the end.
Yeah, they were out there. Yeah. They were out there for part of it.
Towards the end, you got to put the second line out there.
The second half of it,
usually they're starting out there. So
Cernak put a pretty big hit. Yeah, Cernak put a pretty big hit on Matthews along the half wall, and as soon as that happened, they came out real quick, and the second power play went in. So there was definitely some of that. But I don't think we can sit here and call out individual people on this team when it was 5-10-0, right? That's across the board.
Agree.
That's across the board. McDonough had a couple of questionable plays. If we want to sit here and go down the line, Cooch, Point, Palat, blah, 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 blah. Dude, everyone. Stamkos Swift on a shot tonight. Hetty was probably the only guy that played a solid regular game that he normally plays. I mean, he had a couple of plays.
I thought he played a horrible game tonight. I don't know what you were watching. He had one of his worst playoff games I've ever seen him play.
I don't know. I said maybe. I said maybe. That was rough tonight too, guys. I said, did you hear what I said? I said if there's one guy that maybe had an okay game, it was Hedman. I said maybe. That's what I said.
Maybe.
So going back to that,
he made a couple of good plays.
Going back to that comment that Sheldon Keefe said that you said it was not against the Lightning. His specific thing was when I look at the playoffs, like especially their first round last year, they definitely led the league in skirmishes after the whistle and things that they are trying to do after the whistle. Are you gonna let me finish?
I read it too, bro. Why do you gotta be right? It doesn't fucking matter, really.
No, I'm sitting there saying he said it about the Lightning. They are borderline violent. Okay. So that was the first thing that was coming out. That was kind of some mind games. Then we found out that Foote was going to get his first playoff game, and they sat Bogo, and we all questioned that. And I've seen some people here wondering why they sat Bogo.
Well, when Bogo was playing 4 games ago, they were like, why is Bogo playing and not Foote? I'm not sitting here ready to question anything or any choice, except for maybe the only thing I'll question is why didn't Coop stick to the lines that he started with? He bailed on those lines so quickly. And then it was like, to me, that's where I felt like the chaos really set in, because then he was just kind of like, okay, you guys. And he wasn't really letting them get into set lines and let them get out and really get into any rhythm. You know what I mean? So like I said, I mean, Foote didn't play like that bad of a game either. There were some bright spots, but I'm just saying we can't sit here and start going down the line and calling out guys when the entire team shit the bed. Like the whole team shit the bed basically tonight. So that 5-minute power play, they did nothing. You can sit here and say that Coop got outplayed or outcoached. Well, he's not really the power play coach, okay? And second of all, you got to be able to do.
And
all right, we're gonna try to figure out how to fix the Lightning and the Stashes feed.
Yeah, as if the game wasn't bad enough, my technology is completely crapping out on me tonight.
Yeah, Peter, give us your final thoughts here.
Yeah. I mean, can we say that the Amber Hearded the bed tonight? I mean, is that are we able to say that? I mean, and at the end of the day, you can just turn the page Wednesday. Huh?
It was the dog. It wasn't her.
Exactly.
What is going on?
Listen, you guys do a great job. I just wanted to call in and chime in. I never get a chance to really talk to you guys besides when I'm on my show or when we Facebook message. So you guys do a hell of a job. Just keep on doing what you're doing. I love it. And I'll try not to be a stranger on your show. Try not to be a stranger on my show. All right?
All right, man. We appreciate you. Peter Blake, the Sports Web. Bringing the passion.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Always.
All right, man.
All right.
Appreciate it. We'll see you for game 2, hopefully with some better results.
Stash looks like he's frozen again. And I agree. I don't think we can call out any one player. I think the whole team didn't play well tonight. All the way down to Vasi. I mean, this team was not, and I've seen comments, don't start with can we start Elliott? That's stupid.
I would have took Vasi out for the third period. Not because it was anything he did, but just let the guy rest, let the guy not get hurt. I mean, why? What's the point of keeping him in?
That would have got in his head, I think. That would have got in his head.
So you guys, obviously I dropped out, but you guys were talking about pulling Vasi.
I was saying that it was stupid, the comments that I was seeing out there. Let's start Elliott next game.
No, I wouldn't start him next game, but I might have started him for the third period tonight.
That's what Shooter was saying, that he would have pulled him for the third.
But I'm with you. He's played every single minute. But like I don't think we've ever had a backup that you could trust well enough. And I think at 4-0 or whatever it was going into the third, I don't, you know what I mean? It's game one is the other thing too. Like that almost seems like a desperation move in game one. But what I don't understand is if that's something that you would normally do in the regular season, why you just don't do it in the postseason too?
Right.
You know what I mean?
He doesn't pull goals.
Which he wouldn't. Right. I'm just saying in general, the hockey, like the regular hockey, norm. Like people, but like, and can we also talk about how, I mean, I don't know where they got their math or who came up with this. We were talking about as well how penalties actually go up in the playoffs, but all I know is some of those cross checks that they called against our guys seemed incredibly ticky tacky. That they were like calling at the beginning of this season, and then stopped calling like a month in, and now suddenly they started calling them all again. Like,
and on both sides too. Like there's
yeah,
just
well,
the second period was just
a couple
all
of very
penalties.
questionable holds. Some of those holding calls. There was like one interference call. I was like, okay, that's a pretty solid call because it was right in front of the net. It kept, I think it was Colton from getting to the puck. There was either Colton or Paul. So like there were a couple of what I would consider legit like postseason penalties, but yeah, I mean if that's how they're going to call it, that's going to have to call it.
But watch game 2, we're gonna get 2 penalties the whole game. That is usually my problem with the refs is the inconsistency because this was a regular season game. We're called like one. In the next game, we'll get different refs, and it's just going to be a free-for-all. So, I don't know. We'll have to wait to see if that is going to happen. Let me give Donnie Pepin a sound effect real quick.
Keep my team's name out your fucking mouth!
You see, what Donnie and some of these Toronto fans don't seem to understand is in the NHL playoffs these days, in the modern era of hockey, they play a 7-game series.
Yeah.
So...
yeah, I know. I know as Lightning fans, we don't really understand that because it only happened once in the last 2 seasons, in the last 2 playoff runs. So I know we don't always remember that it's a 7-game series, but it is. It is a 7-game series, as it was already pointed out by what am I missing? By Joel. That this team doesn't lose back-to-back games in the playoffs. This team responds very well in the playoffs. In fact, when they lose a game. So, and also, I can't remember who it was. Was it Gabby that posted the game 1 stats for the Lightning? And they're not good. I don't know if anybody noticed that or saw that before the game, but the history of game 1s for the Lightning, they're like, I think they're less than 500 in game
overall,
1.
Yeah. Last year, they were pretty good in game 1s.
Yeah, but they're only like 4 and 5 under John Cooper or something like that. They're really not as good as we remember. So
7-game series. And for Anthony's comment, let me just mention this real quick. So Wednesday, I'll be watching at home. Friday, I don't think we're going to the games. We might be doing something at District Tavern, I'm thinking, because I heard the watch party tonight was quite disappointing.
Horrible. I do not recommend going to Sparkman Wharf for their watch parties. The Lightning got blindsided. Their plans were to have it down by the water. They started having some construction, so they've moved it all up on the lawn. There's a total of maybe 15 tables that if you're not there by 4:30ish, 5 o'clock, you will not get one. You can't bring your own chairs. You can bring blankets, sit on the lawn. There was so many pictures and so many. Debbie Kemp, who's a big listener of the show, supporter of the show, she put out a picture where we were allowed to put our umbrellas down on the table, but you couldn't remove them from the table or you got kicked out of the venue. So your sight line had a whole bunch of these sticks from the umbrellas all in your sight line. And when someone mentioned that they were in their sight line, they said to move, but you couldn't move the furniture. So it was it was just not well planned out. Greg Wolf was hosting it. They had the Blue Crew there. They had Thunderbug there. If you just want to go and drink and just sit and watch the game on a Jumbotron, then go have fun. If you want to enjoy the game and sit there with your fan, it's not. That was the consensus. Nobody.
Not channel side of 2016, huh? Or
No, I even asked about doing the show down there. I brought my laptop and everything. That's why I'm home. And they literally said, no, we're closed as soon as this game's over. They close at 9 o'clock at a regular game. So they were kicking everybody out afterwards. So
we might have to have our own party.
Yeah, it just was not fun.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to rain Wednesday. There's a 60% chance of rain on Wednesday. So being out
You're not allowed to bring an umbrella. So forget about
it. Well, you can put the umbrellas up on the table, but they'll only cover the table itself and not the people sitting around it. So, you know.
The good thing is Jody Ermlich did make these shirts for us.
Oh, yeah.
She gave they actually say nice. We wonder I'm back at Lightning Podcast.
We
stole my idea, Jody.
I want to make the same thing because we real time made those shirts at Shooter's house on Saturday for his surprise party. Yep. After I took our other friend Jeff and I took Shooter out fishing half the morning, half the day, a little more than half the day, and then took him back, and his wife set up a surprise party. So we're all hanging out there, and then Schoolie gets hold of me. He's like, "Hey, you were talking about making that shirt." I'm like, "Guys, like, here, what do you think about this?" I'm like, "Well, that is awesome." And yeah, we kind of workshopped it right there, came up with the design and picked out the color and everything. So I'm excited to be able to meet up to you and get that. It'll probably take, a few weeks like it did to get your shirt from me.
No, we'll see each other Saturday. So
well, that's right. Yeah.
Although, hey, listen, I thought I had the funniest joke of our like little group chat for the game when I mentioned we're really going to need the Lightning to flip a switch for this third period because the dial was broken tonight.
And yes, Matthew, I did say the dial is at fucking 0 right now. So the funny thing is on that shirt that Schoolie has that Jody made for us, the dial's at 8 where, it's kind of like, it kind of looks like it's at 8. But yeah, that's kind of where I was thinking was that before. It is now definitely a 0. Look, there's not even a 0 on that dial. It is now no longer registering on the shirt. But yeah, that was fun. That was cool making those shirts. And it is time for them to really turn the dial back up.
Yeah, it resets for game 11 real quick. Playoffs. So they're just recalibrating it.
It needs to get to 11 real fast.
And then Friday I will be at the game. I think Stash, you're going too.
It's in the rumor is it's in the works. So yeah. So
I don't know. We'll be at the game. We might not be at the game. Either way, we'll be live after the game.
I'll be down. I'll probably be downtown. If it doesn't work out that I'm in the game, I probably will go down to District Tavern and hang out down there.
And then I'll probably run down to District Tavern after the game and come and join you.
Maybe we'll just throw our show on from there. So, but yeah, I mean, it's What do you guys think? What we got our asses whooped, and the only thing we can do is go to game 2.
And Clifford will automatically be suspended for game 2. It's required that he gets at least 1 game suspension after that game misconduct penalty.
That's a brutal hit.
So he will be at least
game 2. Yeah, we didn't even talk about that. You can sit here and call. Obviously, whatever. You call the Lightning the violent team, but that's the kind of Bush League shit that was around in the beer leagues or in like the back in the 70s and 80s. It doesn't need to be in this league anymore. So, yeah, Blake said it best right here. Put it behind us. Move on to Wednesday. This team is really good, and even Donnie Pepin agrees that it was a cheap hit, and it's good to see that he is at least not a complete clown, but good to see that because they were in the arena. They were definitely saying refs, you suck, but it wasn't like the rest of them. There was only a small percentage. I noticed that chant did not last very long. A lot of people didn't join in on that one. And this is something I'm excited about too. I love every time I see Anthony James in public because he always has whiskey. So I'll be excited for that.
Shooter has enough whiskey for all of us right now.
Now I don't know how much he has left after Saturday because we definitely opened a couple of those up. But
the one thing that I was thinking about, having to play Toronto was how motivated they're going to be to just get out of the first round. So I'm kind of wondering, how much did they, give tonight, and are they going to have anything left for a best of 7 series? Because, they were great tonight. There's no denying it. They played great. They beat us outright tonight. But can they do that 3 more times?
Yeah.
Or did they give everything they got tonight? And that was the one thing that worried me about playing Toronto, was they just want to get out of that first round. And I could see them giving everything they got to get out of that first round and then just getting swept in the second round. But hey, it's who the Lightning drew, and that's who they're going to have to show up against on Wednesday night. And it'll be interesting to see, because the Lightning never lose 2 in a row in the playoffs, or they haven't in the last 2 years. Yeah. So we're going to find out a lot about this year's Lightning and a lot about the capability, or if they can even three-peat on Wednesday night. And that does, guess what? They can still three-peat if they lose 2 games in a row. Yeah. I'm sure teams have won championships by losing two games in a row, but I'm not worried yet. My dial for panic is moved a notch, but it's not close to all the way there.
1. It's at 1. Only because they got shut out for the first time since 2018. Or else, if it had been 5-1, it would be at 0.
So a couple of quotes after the game tonight while the players and stuff are getting interviewed. Cooper, I'm not so sure they had to play particularly well to beat us tonight. You've got to win 4, and you don't have to give teams any freebies. And we probably gave them a little bit of a freebie tonight. I think it's hard to judge either team tonight. McDonough said, we need to get back to what our identity is here as far as keeping the puck out of our net and let our offense come from that. They had some odd man rushes, some breakaways. That's not winning hockey. Steven Stamkos says it's going to be a long series. It could have been a whole different game had they taken advantage of the 5-minute power play in the first. Said a lot of things that have worked lately didn't tonight. Passes off sticks and skates. And the last quote came from Victor Hedman. I think they made the right call on pretty much every single play, on every single penalty, both ways. So those are what came out of the news conference. Here's the new playoff hat. It is not available at Emily's store yet. It is only available at the merchandise truck that's at Sparkman's Wharf. They won't have it at Emily until Friday.
All right, cool. Let's remind everyone, because we're gonna wrap it up soon. We still got some cool shit to give away. So hashtag WTF with your comment. We've got the pub crawl coming up, the bar crawl, downtown crawlers. That's gonna be Saturday. We're gonna be doing a live end of season wrap up there, so you can come hang with us. And you can win some tickets tonight by just adding hashtag WTF to your comment. And then we also are going to hand pick some of the best comments that we've seen tonight. I know it's tough tonight, but here's what's up for grabs. We've got the Smack Another Round shirt for somebody. We've got some pucks and pizza, a puck for one of our lucky winners. If you've never been to Pucks and Pizza, it is over here in Palm Harbor on Tampa Road. So get a chance to go try them out if you win, and I think everyone should. And then we've also got something from Malectronics as well. I don't think we know exactly what that is, though, right?
What is it?
The Malectronics swag.
It's the Hat Trick 2.0 speaker.
Oh, there you go. That's pretty sweet. So make us laugh or something in the comments. Give a good take on what's going to happen next game, because we'll pick that probably in the next 10 minutes here, because there's just no point of beating a dead horse here. Was I not sharing for that whole thing?
Yeah, you are.
Okay. All right, so get done. Sorry, the whiskey's catching up with me.
Yeah. So right here, couple guys came through this. We were 14 and 19 overall in all time in game ones.
Yeah, I starred his other comment too, which was this one. 14-19
Yeah.
the first game of the playoff series, 6-7 first game of the Red playoff series, which includes wins in 3 consecutive seasons. We're good.
Yeah. So, you know, I gotta say, I know we lost and all, but I feel like everyone needs to step their game up in the comments too. Trying to find something to make me laugh, and you guys are just all as sad as we are.
We got a couple starred. You didn't star anyone yet? We have our own, like, we can rank your comments on our side. You guys can't see it. Somebody asked what I was drinking. I actually don't know what this was. Do you remember, Stash? We were drinking it on Saturday. It was the one bottle that I'd never heard of before.
Oh no, I don't remember, but it's a 92 proof, so it's pretty solid.
Yeah, I'll bring it next show.
Not like the 138 Elijah I've got over here. I had to go with gin tonight though. I couldn't do the bourbon after it already had a little bit of heartburn, so I had to take it easy with the gin tonight. So, you know, I do think that we see maybe Bogosian in the next game. I don't know. Not the foot played a bad game. I just feel like
he's more physical.
That's what I think you need him for.
He's a little more physical, but he's also a little more stay at home. And like, you know, I think he'll be a little bit more prone to helping solidify the defense and not have 4 guys trying to do the same job right in front of the net. Like you were talking about before with that school bus line. That's what happened. They all collapsed and they all went to go to do the same job. And I even noticed that, like, even Hagel is still having a hard time figuring out where he fits on the line or in that team. Because, I mean, he made a play where he dumped a puck behind the net, and then him and Sorelli went to go take the same line. I'm like, that's a bad play. You're definitely going to be outnumbered because you're coming behind the play, and then Toronto guy was able to get there first on the puck and move around the boards, and it would end up being a turnover instead of an ability to get there, get the puck in the zone, get on the cycle, and set up some possession. So, you know, it's interesting to see how much he's still shaking it up because he can't figure out, I think specifically, where he wants Hagel to play. You know? And
this is Hagel and Paul's first playoff.
Yeah, I thought Paul played a really good game still.
I thought so too.
Paul really did play his game tonight. And I said to you guys, and I even said in my other group chat, I was surprised he didn't stick with it. I thought that Killer, Colton, and Paul line was going to be the line that started the game whenever I saw that in the pregame from Joe Smith. And I thought that they have a chance to be a difference maker in the series. And he did not stick with that line whatsoever. He basically, right after the 5-minute power play, he started switching it up. So maybe he did panic a little bit. Maybe he still isn't quite comfortable enough with his lines to say, okay, we're just going to roll him no matter the situation. And to me, that might take my panic up to like my panic dial up to 2, maybe. Like,
and I don't think Coop really panics. I think he gets pissed off, and that's his way of showing it to the players when he isn't happy with the performance.
Playoffs or not, I would have probably sat Cooch for a couple of shifts from that retaliatory penalty that he took, because that's the kind of shit we can't have Cooch doing. We can't have that mentality from Cooch in the playoffs. He's got to get that out of his head real fast.
And then some of the other games tonight, Hurricanes beat the Bruins 5-1. Kings are leading the Oilers 2-1. The Blues are beating the Wild 2-0.
Ooh, 2-0 on the Flower, huh?
Yeah.
Watch out, Wild.
So, got a couple lopsided games tonight. It's the first night of the NHL playoffs. And we've got a long, long way to go.
But an interesting thing, Montreal's exit interviews, they had a majority of their players said that they were exhausted by the end of the season. from going into the playoffs so far last year and going to the finals. And I'd watched this preview of all the different series that are coming up. And the question was, do you think the Lightning's legs are going to start feeling what Montreal was saying their legs were by the end of the season? And I was talking with some people at the watch party, and they said, yeah, but we're more experienced than Montreal was, but we're also older. So those older legs tend to get tired out, even though more experienced. So as I don't think there's no way there's going to be a sweep. But and we've talked about this a couple other shows. Does the longevity that the Lightning has won 2 Stanley Cups in a span of 365 days and have continued just keep on playing, does that catch up on now that we've heard Montreal's exit interviews and them saying that they were in so much pain and that they didn't get the great offseason and everything else? Do you think that's going to be a factor whenever Tampa is done in the playoffs?
How can it not be? And it's not just last year. Montreal wasn't in a deep playoff run the year before, and we were. So, eventually it's going to catch up with them. But they've got to do what they do. They've got to have the stars show up, which they didn't tonight. They're whiffing on shots. Hedman, it looked like he's skating in cement. And then you also have to have that bottom 6 show up as well and contribute, not just defensively, but offensively. And just nothing worked tonight.
Well, Coop needs to commit, though. Coop needs to commit to what the bottom 6 is, what the top 6 is. You can't have guys floating up and down. You really can't.
Yeah, I agree.
He's got to figure his shit out and say, okay, this is what we're rolling with, boys. I don't care if we're up 5-0 or if we're down 5-0 or somewhere in between. These are the lines. This is what we're rolling. Get out there and play your fucking hockey. Like, I think that's what they really need. So,
next game will be pretty telling to see the lines, to see how much they change up the strategy on the power play, which they did within the game. I mean, my God, in that first 5-minute power play, which was definitely the determining moment of the game, when they looked so bad on that 5-minute power play where they could have spotted themselves a 2 or 3 goal lead. Yeah. But they couldn't do anything, and then they ended up playing scared because they were giving up so many chances. And they just kept trying to do the same thing. Like, oh, let Point or Cooch, why don't you take it in? And then they kept, as soon as they got it in, they kept like trying to drop it back or just dump it in.
Get right to the half board, and then they would just get collapsed on. And
dump it in and chase it. You got 5 guys on 4.
Well, and that's exactly my point. That's why I'm sitting here losing my shit, because you have them outnumbered, and yet they're outnumbering you on the puck. How is that possible? You have more guys, and they did their homework early on. And we talked about this whenever the Lightning power play was struggling around the first of the year. If you pressure the Lightning while they have the puck, they fall to pieces. They fall apart if you put too much pressure on them. They don't know. It's not that they don't know. It's that they don't make that pass. They don't make that pass quick enough. They don't have a creative enough solution to move the puck around so they can get a setup and then take advantage of their man advantage. You know what I mean? So it's interesting to see, because it's what we saw when they were slacking, and then since Cooch and Point had been healthy for a while, we hadn't seen that. They had figured it out for a little while. So whatever it is, if they get on the power play and they don't have the offensive zone face-off win, they need to figure out some way to get in that zone without just basically trying to skate it in and drop it back or whatever. And there needs to be some kind of strategy change from Halpy and the power play and their entry into the zone when they have the man advantage.
And that's coming here by
better, but
it's coming here by Sarah. It's interesting because I think we need some home ice and good pump playoff crowd. The thing is, if you remember last year, we were better on the road than we were at home. Yeah. And we were saying because Cooper was too busy trying to play the matchups, having that last matchup. So, the home ice, I think it's going to be loud as hell in there Friday night.
Yeah,
but it's going to be interesting to see what kind of mix it is, because I have seen so many people putting their tickets up I mean, literally the seats in front of me are up for $140 a ticket. Now I know how much they were paid for as an STM in that seat. It was $55.
Yeah.
So he's basically getting $100 profit for each one of those seats. So for round one, it's $55 for STMs in those seats that he's at. So who's going to pay that price? I can tell you who's going to pay that price. Toronto Maple Leaf fans are going to pay that price. So it's going to be interesting on what kind of mixture it is. Depending on what also the series record is when we come home on Friday. Is it going to be 1-1 or is it going to be 2-0?
Yeah.
You know, another thing to consider was Toronto didn't have people in their stands last year at all, did they? They didn't really have a true home game.
No.
So
Yeah,
Montreal didn't until the finals.
Yeah.
So they were hopped up for this game. I could totally see them really, really kind of taking a step back for the next game. And that with the combination of our coaches having the tape, knowing how to make the adjustments, and our team full of veterans, I think we're going to 1-1 after Wednesday night.
I agree.
So you give out some bar crawl tickets?
Yeah.
All right. We're going to do 2 pairs. 2 pairs. If you've already won, I'm sorry, you can't win. Hopefully we can remember who's won.
That's your job, Mr. Producer, man.
So that's this Saturday, May 7th. If you do win, you better come hang out with us for a little while. And there you go. Gabe, hopefully you are not in Oakland with that athletic shirt on, but you are one winner. Shoot us a message so we can get all we need is your email for those tickets. And let's do one more. Anthony James. I know he likes a good bar crawl. So there you go, guys. Just shoot us an email or shoot us a direct message or get a hold of one of us for
you know how to get a hold of
your
me.
email.
Gabe can't do it. So you want to go ahead and draw again? He just commented he can't do it.
All right. Let's see who else is our.
So even if you didn't win, you can still go on and buy the tickets. They're $15.
Blake can't go either. Doesn't Blake live?
Blake, you can't go either, can you? But if you don't want to buy the tickets, you don't win the tickets, you can still come and join us at District Tavern in downtown. We are going to be doing the show from there. Yep, no, Blake can't go. Go ahead.
Then why did you guys hashtag?
Starts at 4:00 for anyone that's asking. It goes till 7. We'll probably be there a little later.
Joy, can you go?
Joy,
let me tell you,
Listen,
she will drink anybody under the table.
Oh, she's never met us.
Oh, you've never met Joy. She always comes to one of those group nights when I do the all you can drink. She plays that game.
All right. Well,
I know our buddy Joe's actually going to be out there too and isn't going to make us. So
Zach Deputy.
Yeah, let us know. It's at 4, so it's in the afternoon, and then it's like the rest of the 4 to 10 or something like that. Technically on the event, it's like 6 hours.
Anthony, so, we'll get in touch. You can give them out to some neat freaks if you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Give them out to someone in the group.
All right. So, do you guys have some favorite comments so we can wrap this thing up?
Well, evidently Sarah won the internet. So
which one?
Right. I mean, that one was pretty good. And then I'm always a fan of hitting the song lyric or the title of a song that's super appropriate to a comment made. So, All
right, I'll tell you what, Sarah, Smack Sports shirt. That's winner number 1. Stash, you got, or not Stash, Schoolie. You want to do one for the speaker?
Yeah, I have 2. I'm trying to figure out which one I like better. Let's do Brian with the stats.
All right.
Yeah, we appreciate when someone comes on with some real
Yeah.
stats because we
It's
can't
not
always
all
look
about
it up
making us
before
laugh. It's
or
also
during.
coming with the knowledge whenever we're too lazy to go do it ourselves and look it up for you to Google it for us. You get rewarded. We're not doing it for free.
So Brian, email me, message me, so I can get that speaker sent out to you.
And let me do the last one here. Pucks and pizza. Get yourself a free puck. Steven C. I like the optimism. It's only game 1.
That's the other one I couldn't decide between, so I'm glad that's the one you picked.
7-game series. I'll hit you up with the details for that. And thanks to all those folks, Pucks and Pizza, Smack Apparel, and Malectronics. Appreciate you guys. We're doing it all first round. So come back and join us on Wednesday.
Yeah. So
and like he said, we will be at District Tavern on Saturday. $15 tickets. If you don't get your tickets, join us down at District Tavern. We are going to have some freebies there given away. And
what? We're gonna be giving away stuff? What?
Yeah.
No way.
Some different stuff.
And I also have a Vassy bobblehead to give away.
There you go. There you go.
And you can watch us record the show live.
You can be
and maybe you can come jump on it. I don't know.
Yeah, have a seat next to us.
We're gonna go through some of the stuff that we were talking about earlier in the season, and
really it's a celebration. So hopefully, they planned this before they knew the schedule for the playoffs. I think they were kind of like me. They thought maybe there would be a little bit of more time between the end of the regular season and the start of the playoffs, but clearly no. So let's hope for a 1-1 series, and then maybe a nice win even on Friday coming home. There'll be 3 games played already by the time that happens. So let's hope for a 2-1 lead for the Lightning by the time we get together on Saturday, because then we could really be celebrating. Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, Saturday definitely is District Tavern. That's where we'll be camped out for the bar crawl. But that might be the spot for the post-game show as well.
That's don't want to get confusing. We're talking about doing a post-game show Friday night. But basically, District Tavern is where we're going to be camped out for the playoffs. Let's just say that. Like, if you go to District Tavern during the playoffs, it's a good chance you're going to fucking run into one of us. So, Sheeter promised me we weren't going to do an hour-long show tonight, and yet here we are, minute 54 of the show, because we can't possibly just come in here and only do this for half an hour. We love all of you way too much, we can't get away. And we get involved, we get interact with all of you. It's better than the game some nights. Like tonight, it's almost better than sitting here doing this than watching the game. I don't know if it's definitely beginning to an hour.
It's number one bullshit. Number one bullshit.
All right, you guys got any final inspiring thoughts? I mean, how much more can we beat this dead horse?
No, it's dead. It's dead. It's run over. The vultures are picking the bones dry. The only thing we can do is if you were 5 minutes earlier, Agent, you might have got started and you might have won something here coming in the last second. But alas, you were just too late, because that's a great comment. Made me laugh.
A couple stats real quick. After the loss in 2020 and 2021, 14-0. 3.36 goals for, 1.36 goals against. Andre Vasilevsky, after a loss 2020, 2021, 14-0 with a .951 save percentage, 1.2 goals against average.
Yeah.
Gonna need a little more help on Wednesday, though, than you got tonight.
No, you're right. I think Bogo's going to be back.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, boys?
No, let's get out.
Let's go. I'm tired. It was a long game. But listen, once again, thanks everybody for coming and sticking with us. Sometimes it's funny how we almost have better crowds after a loss than a win. I don't know if I could say it any better than Kevin Callan, coming out of the show. Great comment, Kevin. And we'll see you on Wednesday.
Cool. All right. And thanks everyone for the birthday wishes.
He's old.
Except for the Lightning, who did not deliver on their birthday promise to me of a win. But hey, this has been We the Thunder. Did I just say Thunder?
Yeah.
That was not Thunder. It was not Thunder.
That's the 40-year-old. That's the 40-year-old. Great.
That's the whiskey.
What the?
No, Saturday. Saturday still has you.
This has been We the Thunder. Don't forget to be the Thunder.
That's it?
That's it.